What's the difference between leadership and management? Are they the same skill or completely separate? Let's talk about it. So a few weeks ago, I had a really great conversation with a lady by the name of Cheryl. We connected on LinkedIn, and she happened to comment in our meeting as she was telling me a little bit more about what her and her business partner do. And I said, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So you guys are a leadership training firm, right? She said, no, actually, there are a lot of leadership training firms out there. We are a management training firm because not every single person inside of a business needs to be a great leader, but every single person who is in management needs to understand how to manage other people. And these are two distinct skill sets. And I said, holy freaking guacamole, that's brilliant. It's been stuck in my head for weeks. So I reached out to her and said, hey, you and your business partner want to come on, do an interview, and let's actually talk about this because this is brilliant. And I really, really, really want to know more. Please join me in a warm welcome for Taryn and Cheryl of High Road Management Company. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. First question, you are a management training company instead of a leadership training company. Why? And maybe you can put into your own words the difference between leadership training and management training here.
How did I know you were going to ask us this question? And thank you for it, because we get asked this a lot, right? Like a lot of people feel that management and leadership can kind of go either way when it goes hand in hand, right? Like they're different. And when Taryn and I were coming up in our management careers, there was tons of leadership training, and there still is, right? Like building up your soft skills and how to motivate your team and things like that. And while those are important, what we were really in need of coming up in our careers was like actually how to do our job, right? How to schedule 150 people to do all of these different duties throughout the day and over a long period of time, and what to do in those situations when problems arise, right? Like if we wanted any type of management training or education, it was pretty much go get your MBA, but that's not necessarily very easily catered to a lot of industries. And so even if we went and did that, it didn't seem like it was going to be quite the right fit, which led us to starting High Road.
And if you think about it, management, it's about the systems, the processes, the protocols to affect change. And leadership is about influence and motivation. And our business, we wanted to focus on providing those foundations, those systems for long-term stability, giving a platform for successful leaders to thrive. There's so many companies out there that focus on leadership and team building and all those aspects of motivation, but few out there focus on the creation, the implementation of policies, procedures, systems. And a business needs that to grow, right? That hoopla, that human knot, that stuff is great, but it's not really going to take you further. It's not going to give you that trajectory if you don't have the stability in the foundation. Think of leadership as like the EMT, right? They dress the wound, they give you comfort, but the surgeon goes in and they repair the damage and then they make a plan for future care. That's your manager. Companies, we tend to see them invest in leadership training, thinking it's going to solve their morale problems. But we found that giving managers the tools, giving them what they need to run their business and manage their departments is what's really going to empower their teams. I mentioned it before, the human knot, trust falls, other leadership exercises, those all have their place. But when the issues are operational, things like mismanaged schedules, lack of inventory controls, overspending on your budgets, these tools are completely ineffective and they fail to address a problem. And we wanted to address those problems. We wanted to give the managers what they needed in these systems to fix those things. And at High Road, that's what we offer. We want to be able to give you things that you can implement for any size business, any type of industry, and make it work for your business.
That is, first of all, that is absolutely brilliant. As y'all are talking, I'm thinking back through how many times over the past decade or so, as I've been working with small business owners, have I had conversations where it has turned to, I need to get a leadership coach. I need to get a leadership training. We need to get leadership training in here for the team, et cetera. And I'm realizing like, there's a good chunk of time it actually wasn't a leadership training issue. It was a management training issue. To y'all's points, right? There are people who get promoted who have no idea what to do as a manager. And I'm fascinated. So let me draw this back in a little bit to our clients here. Knowing most of our watchers, most of my network, my audience are primarily in the $1 to $20 million a year range. What is the one thing in this arena that you see most small business owners like in that range, that 1 to 20 million range? What's probably the one area that these business owners don't necessarily think about in terms of supporting their leadership team?
Most don't start out with a growth mindset. And what I mean by that is we've talked about the importance of foundations, and most understand the importance of foundations, but they don't necessarily think about that with the growth in mind from the beginning. Many new business owners, they're focused on getting their products out, getting their services launched, and they're not writing down their processes, right? So all of that kind of lives in their head, or it's written down in personal shorthand. And when they're ready to hire a team, they're scrambling because standard operating procedures aren't documented, which means they don't have something that they can use as a tool to train. Managers or owners need to put development on hold then, and they have to train each individual person from what they remember in their head. And that causes things to get lost in translation, things get missed. So there's a lot of time spent where they have to go back and work with the individuals to get things done correctly, or they lose time and money to completely have to redo something because it wasn't what they were thinking. I'd say having a 5-year plan early on always helps with the growth mindset. And if you're already in place and you're already running, then take a minute now, pause, and think about what you need and what you want and where you want that growth to be moving forward, and start documenting what you have so that as you're ready to grow and as you're ready to hire more people, those pieces are in place. Standard operating procedures are key.
I agree. For a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners that are getting ready to scale or have started to scale, it's really important to remember that no one is going to care about your business more than you. And as an entrepreneur, it can already be difficult to get even one employee to believe enough in what you're doing to be hired by you. And so it's important to be able to provide your team with the tools and resources they need to succeed. If you're busy trying to look after them or you're micromanaging them to make sure that they're putting in the time and care that's needed for each of the tasks that they have, then there's no sense in you hiring them to do it at all. Just do it yourself, right? You're not saving time by micromanaging them. And so this is why it's really important to get your standard operating procedures taken care of right from the start.
I love that you just said that, because that is 1000%. I say that all the time. I'm like, no one is going to care about your business as much as you are. They're just not. It's not their business. And no one's going to care. But having these foundations allow us to kind of make magic happen there. So I love that. One last question, because I know we're kind of running out of time. I have an ADHD audience. They're probably already starting to, spiral, and hopefully they've at least gone to the 2x speed option if they can here. But so what are some of the things when y'all are working with training these managers, what are some of the things y'all have learned to do differently? Because y'all know my fascination is with how do we train people better, teach people better? So what are some of the things that you've learned to do differently when working with managers to help them kind of get these concepts? Because I think sometimes management, leadership, all of these things, marketing, financial management, all these things can be kind of a out here skill set. How do you kind of bring it in, make it tangible, make it practical?
We knew we needed to address how we train managers based on how they learn, but also teach them how to recognize the same when managing their own staff. Over time, we worked with so many different employees in various departments and industries and realized no two people are alike, which means they all learn differently, they all understand things differently, and most know that there's different learning styles that need to be considered. But when dealing with people, it's not only the learning styles, but the personality types, the individual nuances, sensitivities that all need to be taken into account when developing training programs and teaching managers how to coach on an individual level. And just like the content in our course, we cater the way we teach people how to manage by effectively incorporating many different techniques, using real-world examples, because let's face it, vague examples don't translate and they don't stick. Our digital trainings are broken down into short lessons within each major topic. For each lesson, we've got video content, written content, action items that all prepare our participants for hands-on implementation of that course material. And it allows the participants to consume it at their own pace in the best way for them. They could do it in short sprints, one at a time at your own pace, or consume a few lessons in one sitting. They have access to the material for 6 months, even if they finish the course, and can return their material as needed.
And along with our digital trainings, we provide individual and group coaching, consultation, and workshops. There's some people who can figure out the solution to a problem rather quickly. So the digital trainings really work for them. And other people need time to explore and pull things apart for them to really get it, which is why we offer the coaching aspect of our business. We didn't want to leave them hanging. And we wanted managers to have access to a guided exploration of the problem that they're facing. We also teach managers how to take into account when they're building that for their own staff training. And while providing coaching and consultations, we've learned it's key for us to really be listening to what is behind the words they're saying by really trying to find the root cause of what's getting in the way of their success and what's going to help them long term for keeping that issue at bay. We can then help them put together processes that are going to guide them through when they hit a bump in the road.
This was freaking brilliant. I am in awe of what you ladies are doing. I think what you're doing is absolutely freaking brilliant. I'm so excited to spread the word about what y'all are doing, because I think this is not something I've seen before. And I'm really excited to know that, hey, there is actually like a management training firm out there. And I'm sure that I'll be using y'all at some point down the road as well. If those of you who are watching this are going, oh my gosh, actually, yeah, wait, I could use some of this help. We've got links wherever they happen to live on where you're watching this video. So go check out their website, check out their social, get to know them, connect with them. These two ladies are phenomenal, and I highly recommend give them a call, have a conversation, see what they can do to help you out, because I think Cheryl's point, there's no point in hiring your people to do work if you're having to micromanage them because they don't know how to manage others. Go out there, make it a great day. You've got an incredible future ahead of you, for your business. You are worth every single bit of effort that it takes. And you're definitely worth a conversation with these ladies about leveling up your team to make it magnificent. Have a great one.